Nestled in the heart of Methuen, Massachusetts, stands an estate built from dreams and imagination, cloaked in time. This is Pine Lodge, crafted by the visionary Edward Francis Searles. A man of immense wealth and even greater creativity, Searles didn't just build homes, he created monuments of wonder. Places meant not only to shelter, but to inspire and stir the soul. Of all his architectural marvels, Pine Lodge was his crown jewel, a harmonious blend of Gothic elegance, European artistry, and American legacy. Even now, its walls whisper stories of music rising through vaulted ceilings, of sunlight caught in stained glass, of laughter echoing through the grand halls and down the winding garden paths. Meet Edward Francis Searles, Pine Lodge. On this day, the family of Edward Francis Searles returns, not for spectacle, but for memory. They gather to share stories, some vivid, some faded, to laugh, to remember, and to rediscover.
You know this, you know this, and then there's all this in between we made up. He ended up marrying her because he was their interior decorator in San Francisco for the top of the market. And so then, after a short period of time, she really relied on him, and they got married.
Yeah.
Right. And that's when all this craziness started.
You used her money to build all of them.
So how are you related to these people?
Just like that.
Very step forward, gentlemen.
It's all yours, Daddy.
I would like to introduce you to Edward F. Searles.
Oh, well, you know their mother, that if she would change their name to Searles, he would give everything to them.
You know, this has been, on our part of the family, it's been a rumor, and I talked to Sue, and Sue said I heard the very same
Same story, so maybe it's her.
They come not as visitors, but as storytellers, retracing steps, touching the past, and carrying its weight and its wonder forward. The journey begins in one of Pine Lodge's most unexpected corners, a small, private theater tucked away beneath layers of time. Though modest in size, this space once echoed with music notes and entertainment. Here, stories were not just told, they were felt. Music filled the air, family gathered close, and for a moment, the outside world disappeared. In an era where Edward Francis Searles valued creativity and leisure, private theaters were rare luxuries. And here, it became a retreat, a place for art, imagination, and storytelling.
The big room, I don't know
with
whether
those
we're going
windows.
But all those windows,
Right.
Polly has a picture of her posing in front of those windows. We had a painting done every morning at the same time, had to go stand in the same position.
From the theater, the family steps into the heart of Pine Lodge, the Great House. Built in the 1880s using locally poured granite, sandstone, and imported wood, the home was never meant to be ordinary. It was a statement, a masterpiece.
Dan, you want to look to Mr. Searles' room? Dan,
Oh, of course.
And then this was became the TV room,
Oh, yeah.
where we had our little tiny box TV. the huge cabinet.
Wow.
Vaulted ceilings stretched above like a cathedral. Hand-carved mantels anchored every room. Stained glass windows once caught every morning sun and painted it across the floors in color.
If you look at the chandelier, it's made of medieval pieces of mace.
And my older brother Ned went to the dump.
He did.
And he got a really nice toilet and wrapped it up in a giant box for my lovely younger brother Dan. And he put it here like 2 weeks before Christmas. So he would come in and he'd see this giant box. He was so excited. He opened it up, and because he is such a good-natured guy, he sat right down for a
Every detail was intentional, drawn from the Gothic revival style Searles admired on his travels abroad, and every stone placed with purpose by the famed architect Henry Vaughan, who helped bring Searles' vision to life.
You can see some of the beautiful sculptures in the yard. That's not. That was my house. There's some disagreement as to the organ down by the ballroom. So this organ, according to some accounts, is part of that organ. The First Church Congregational says they have part of that organ, and I'm now beginning to think they don't. So, we all set to keep going?
Sure. Great.
We just walked through that one.
I remember when it happened.
And it was the story that we remember. And I mean, I remember some people broke in and they stole the bells because it was the winter time. So they could flip the bells over the wall into the penny estates, and they didn't make any sound. And by the time we discovered it, they'd gone to the smelter.
And they didn't need money. They just took them to the smelter, so that's incredible.
Beneath the main floor lies one of Pine Lodge's most beautiful spaces, a chapel-like room centered around a grand pipe organ. With arched ceilings and cool stone walls, the room feels sacred, timeless, a quiet sanctuary tucked beneath the grand door above. The organ, though smaller than the famed one at the Methuen Memorial Music Hall, another gift of Searles, was no less meaningful. It wasn't just performance, it was meditation, it was memory. This space reflects Searles' deep love for sound and soul. It offered a moment of pause, of connection, of reverence. And today, as the family softly walks through the room, it still carries that silence, that stillness, that sense that something greater once echoed here and maybe still does. A garden path leads the family to one of the estate's most private and sacred places, the crypt. Here, next to the very home he dreamed into being, rests Edward Francis Searles. For all the grandeur Searles left behind, this place is simple, humble, and yet deeply moving. It reminds us that visionaries, too, become memory, that legacies, though carved in stone, are carried by the living. From the stillness of the crypt, the family continues on, into one of the estate's most intriguing and ornate spaces, the Italian Marble Room. A gallery of polished stone, carved detail, and quiet elegance. It is a symbol of refinement, taste, and worldliness. Searles didn't just collect beauty, he believed in its power to elevate the human spirit. And in this room, with its classic motifs and sculptural grace, that belief still breathes strong. The tour ends where stories are preserved, the Methuen Museum of History. Here, the family sits down together once more, not in a grand hall or room, but at a simple lunch table, surrounded by photos, artifacts, and echoes of their shared past. Old photographs pass from hand to hand, names are remembered, stories are corrected, and the past is pieced together one memory at a time. And just like the marble, the wood, and the glass, these moments become a part of a legacy too, not preserved in stone, but preserved in hearts. As the sun dips low behind the trees and the shadows stretch across the old stone walls, the family gathers for one final photo, shoulder to shoulder. They leave behind a house of memory, but carry with them a home of heart, because Pine Lodge was never just architecture, it was a thread in their family's fabric. And though the estate may pass into new hands, its story remains written in theirs. Places may change, but the meaning we give them endures. And so, like all great stories, this one lives on, in hearts, in photos, in the quiet passings of stories from one generation to the next. The end of a visit and the beginning of remembrance.